is up? So today we got something super cool. This is an AK. It's made by Arsenal. This is the SAM7 SF. Has the folding stock. So this thing's made in Bulgaria. It's got a milled receiver. And we're gonna shoot it and provide some initial impressions. I mean, a couple just initial thoughts. I mean, it looks good. I mean, the quality and everything looks pretty good. So I'm pumped up to shoot it. I haven't owned an AK or really even shot an AK for a long time. I sold my last AK probably 20 years ago, 25 years ago. The other AKs I've shot in the meantime have been full auto. So I'm pumped up. I bought this. This is my gun. So let's give some shooting impressions. We'll be back. All right, so I've put quite a few rounds through this thing. I don't know, probably about 100, 150 rounds, just to initially test it, run it through its paces. Again, this is the Arsenal SAM7 SF, chambered in 7.62 by 39. It's an AK. It's made in Bulgaria. It's milled, has a milled receiver. And let me just tell you, after shooting this thing, man, I'm real impressed. I'm really impressed with it. I'm impressed with a lot of things, and just so you, gun is clear and all that. It's also hot as fuck right now. But you know, shooting this, a couple things. One, this thing has what's called their enhanced trigger, which it's almost like a two-stage trigger. It has a little bit of take up, and it's actually pretty good. It's like worlds better than most AKs that I've shot. You know, I have experience with the Norinco, the Polytech Legend, the Hungarian, the Egyptian Mahdi. In terms of other variants, I have thousands and thousands of rounds through a Galil AR and ARM, the Valmet M76, FNC. So the trigger on this is going to be, you know, this isn't going to be a Geisley trigger. It's not going to be an SSA or SSAE. But what you're going to get compared to kind of like a lot of the Eastern Bloc countries, I mean, it's a tremendous trigger. For what you're getting in an AK, it's tremendous. It's great. It also has a safety, which I mean, it's kind of like a Galil, where it has this safety here that's kind of by the pistol grip. I don't know if that, and what that does, you know, versus just having the normal safety right here, which still functions, and it's interesting, you can control that with the pistol safety too, and that's really a nice touch having that. It's really a nice touch. This folding stock, it's a solid folding stock. You know, you sometimes, especially with some of the underfolders and stuff, I mean, that stuff is pretty flimsy. I don't worry about this folding stock. This folding stock, just looking at it, it reminds me of a Galil. And that's never a bad thing when you're talking about AKs to me. The Galil is good. This flash hider right here, let me tell you, it's very effective. You'll see some of the footage of me shooting this thing. I mean, this is probably, if not one of the most controllable AKs I have ever shot ever. I mean, it's very super controllable. I mean, just amazing. So those are some initial thoughts. Now what we're gonna do, what I'm gonna use this thing for, and really the reason I bought it is these hogs right now, I mean, they're out in the day. You know, they're out, they're rooting for grubs. We just ran up on a whole sounder of them. I'll take this AK right here, carry it around. I'll go in these little creeks, and we're gonna sneak up on them, guerrilla warfare, catch those hogs down there in those creeks, you know, in those mud holes, and we are gonna whack the hell out of them with this. You know, I mean, look, I don't need optics. You know, I got thermals, I got optics, but we kind of want lighter is better. Let's sneak and kill. And I think this is gonna work out really well. We got a lot of ammo, and we're gonna kill a lot of hogs. So this is the safety. Like I said, it's kind of like a Galil. And you know what? That's really, really convenient. You know, just to have that right there. I mean, it's not the best ergonomics in the whole world, but it's better than just having this traditional safety, which, you know, if you have this, you kind of almost have to adapt the way you even carry the weapon to compensate for this safety position. So, you know, having this is certainly a bonus. And one thing I'd said, and this gun is clear, that this trigger, you see it's got a little take up. It's not going to be mistaken for a Geisley, but compared to a lot of AKs, I mean, it's pretty good. So the magazines we're using, we got this US Palm, this yellow banana, which is kind of funny, and then we got these Circle 10 mags. These are, I guess these are by Arsenal, and we did have some problems with this palm right here. It's you really have to jam this fucking thing into the gun. You know, at first it wasn't seating properly, and it wouldn't load. It wouldn't pull around into the chamber. But you know, after we kind of got the hang of jamming it in there, we were good. And that's good because I just actually ordered not the yellow ones, but I ordered like 10 of these things. So that certainly would have sucked if it wouldn't have loaded. But this is kind of a funny magazine. The other ones I ordered are not the yellow ones. These work great. These 40 rounders are cool as fuck, but let me tell you, man, they're like $90, $89 or something. Out.